So, hello, Drew and Ambrose and Susan and Davey. I'm here with Rob and Heidi. This is Ben Roberts, and we've just been looking at the Now What network map and playing a little game around the idea of the gift economy that's part of Now What. And we picked leadership as an area where we all have an interest in offering support. And we noticed that in your profiles on Now What, the four of you have asked for support related to leadership. We don't know a whole lot more than that about what you're looking for, or what we might be, how what we have to offer might relate to that. But we wanted to just give you a shout out and say we see this and we're with you, and maybe we'll each say a little bit about how we might provide some kind of support in that regard. We'll send you this in an email. And try a few other opportunities to see where this might go as part of the gift economy. And Now What?
Wonderful.
Yeah. So we have decided that we will say a little bit about what we could do regarding leadership. For me, leadership is very much connected with interiority, with your stage of development, if your knowledge of yourself. So for me, it would be looking for the value systems you have in which you are operating, and on your beliefs, which make you do things, how you do them. Because when you are a leader, in my opinion, you need to know what your own, let's say, biases are, out of which substrate of how can I say that? Your personal experience, which might have guided you to see and do things in a certain way, which might not be the right one in the moment, in the situation you are in and are asked as a leader. And so for me, it's important, this self-knowledge, to know out of what, let's say, motivation, and out of what direction you are doing the things you are doing.
And you're particularly expert in spiral dynamics and integral theory, right, Heidi? And that's part of the perspective you would bring to that.
Yeah, I did a leadership program some years ago, and it was especially about that. About 3 years courses, I became a coach in these things. So. Actually, I can't say the name. It's Feminine Power, discovering the feminine power in a completely different way than we think that we need the power. The power by self-knowledge. And oh, that's the cat. Now you don't see it at all.
Well, there's some validation right there of feminine power, right? When the cat comes into the picture. Aw, sitting right on your chest.
Yeah, I think that's more or less enough.
All right. Then I would like to add a little bit that in these amazing times, I think we as a species are evolving very fast, and that leadership basically is a form of connecting to the collective consciousness of our species and of our planet that is evolving. So we don't have to think too much. We actually just have to open our receptors to the intelligence that is already floating around and express that. And in that sense, everybody can be, and in a sense, is needed to make the changes that are necessary and make this beautiful planet again more beautiful than it already is. And it's something like that.
Yes, we need We were talking before about the phrase "a leader in every chair" that comes from the Circle Way practice, which is a group process for teams and communities. I know a little bit about that. I know a lot more about the approach that Peter Block articulates in this book, Community. He talks about leadership as the convener, as and social architect as leader, and the central role of holding space for others and asking powerful questions and then listening deeply. And that these are skills that he names a lot of particular distinctions for people doing transformationally oriented work. So it's one thing to lead in the context of the old paradigm. It's another to lead towards something new. And Block, I think, is particularly brilliant on naming these distinctions and identifying ways that we've been conditioned often to operate unconsciously out of the old paradigms, and how to reframe the space, how to hold space from a place of transformational potential, so that the experience of being together is itself a transformational experience. Even the experience of inviting people to participate can be that. So I could talk, share some of his thinking principles, which have been very informative and inspiring to me, and I'm still practicing them imperfectly, but believe in the essence of them. The other thing I could name is the case clinic process from Theory U, which many people have been practicing as part of the ULab course. And the classic framing for that is if you have a leadership challenge, you're a case giver if you've got a leadership challenge that really feels present and urgent in this moment. And there's that very simple process where 2, 3, 4 people can be coaches for you in addressing that. So we could organize a case clinic for any of you. I'd be happy to support that request if you wanted to do that around some specific leadership challenge that you were currently facing. And we could see pretty easily, I think we could find 2, 3, 4 people that would want to show up for you, that are, at least one person who's familiar with the case clinic process, having done it before, that could facilitate it. Even if you haven't done it before, you can facilitate it. But I'm guessing some of you may have already done that. Anyway, I love that process. It's simple, it's beautiful. It takes an hour to an hour and a half. Anything else we want to say to these good people before we close this recording?
Well, I'd like to add just one small thing, that in our old paradigm, we are very focused on the mind and rationality. And the way I sense the new leadership is that we understand and appreciate the full power of the heart,
Mm-hmm.
which is actually the organ of connection. Love is connection. And intelligence is just a thing with which we sort out the details, which needs to be done as well. But the overarching thing is connecting. And once the connection is established, that is real leadership. And then after that, we can reorganize stuff.
Yeah. The mind is a good servant, but a terrible master, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so we'll see where this goes. We look forward to connecting with some or all of you.
Yes.